listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's nobody on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Kenny Serwa. Fact. Hi, Kenny. How are you?
Good. How are you? Very thankful to be on.
Man, it is. Kenny, the great thing about baseball, the baseball off season, is in the baseball season we have a lot of great stories, a ton of great stories, but there's also great stories in the off season, which is why this sport is so great and really has become even greater in large part. I'm going to say it because of social media. I know there's a lot of bad social media. There's a lot of good, man. There's a lot of good, right? I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
So before we get going, I could go through your story, and I will go through your story a little bit. But I want to give you the opportunity to sort of give the correct timeline of your baseball career, and where you're from, going through high school, going through college, and then going obviously independent league and where you've landed now. So, like you said, I could do it, but I probably would mess up. That's why I'm going to rely on you, Kenny. So go ahead.
Okay.
Please educate us all in terms, set the scene for what we're going to be talking about.
Okay. Yeah. So Kenny Serwa, born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, went to St. Patrick High School. After that, I started off at a small Division II St. Joseph's College in Rensselaer, Indiana. It unfortunately closed down due to financial reasons. I then transferred to Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, where I was there for 3 years. And then COVID struck 2020, where I grad transferred to the University of Central Florida. Was there for a year. Then I went to the University of Dayton after that. That was 2022. After college, I went to the Pioneer League. I was playing with the Billings Mustangs in the Pioneer League. Had an awesome time out there. Great program, great organization. After that, 2023, had a little bit of some hiccups last year. Learned so much off the field, though, that it benefited me so much for 2024, where I had a pretty good year. Not the greatest, but a lot of innings for the Chicago Dogs in the American Association, if you're not familiar with it, independent ball league. And then after that, I kind of found my way to Tread. One of my roommates at Dayton, Cody Witten, was kind of on me like, come on, man, you got to get here. This is the place. This is the place to be. And boy, was he right. I should have been there much sooner, but I got there at the right time. Timing is everything. And we started to work on some stuff, found some things, and voila, got out there, got some video, got some footage. They hosted
you got a social media post that has over a million views. No,
absolutely.
And I'm like, listen, I'm not saying that you should quit baseball and become an influencer, because that's not what this is about. This is more about getting views. It's more than that. It's great, but what that shows is what you have done. Because if I took that already unbelievable story and I could go through every part of it, including you have the school shut down, you go to all these different schools, you go to independent league ball and everything else, and I could do the cliche question, much like I did. We just had Robert Stock on, who's 35 years old and just signed with the Red Sox, after changing his arm angle in the Mexican League. I could say, okay, well, where was a time where you said, maybe this isn't working out? I mean, I don't know if there was that time, because, again, you switch colleges that many times. Independent league is tough. It's fun, but it's tough.
It is.
You come off your parent health insurance. I know, 26 years old, right? Right?
Yes, it gets tough. It gets tough. No, you are right. You're right. Spot on, actually. Spot on.
I can tell you that is where the rubber meets the road with so many people, where when they turn 26, because they're saying, hey, is there a full-time job? And just because you play baseball, that's no different for you, I would imagine, right?
No, not at all, not at all. Turned 26, and you're right. Had to get off mom and dad's insurance and figure it out a little bit. But yeah, spot on,
All
spot on.
right, all right. So let me before we get to the here and the now, let me ask you that question, cliche question. Like, was there time or times where you're like, I don't know. I mean, this is baseball's fun. But maybe I should just move on. Maybe I should coach. Maybe I should do something else.
Honestly, no. I've always loved this game and been passionate about it. I've done it my whole life, and there were definitely a lot of adversity and challenges throughout my college career and everything like that. So battling through that was difficult, but getting through it was awesome, and you come out better on the other side. So to say there was no ups and downs is would be false. There's tons of ups and downs throughout my career here, but it's just everything. Timing is everything. You got time and place. I was told my entire career, you got to be at the right spot at the right time, and things are starting to fall into place here.
So I do want to let the listeners know that the reason why you had this viral moment was because you threw the hardest knuckleball ever recorded, 88.5 miles an hour. That was at Tread. We're gonna get to that, but I do want to get to you're playing for Chicago in the independent leagues. And your buddy says you got to go to Tread. That's fine. Like, that's great. Okay. Like, on the surface, that's fine, but it's not like there's any guarantees of you going to this place. It's in North Carolina, right? North Carolina?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
There's a commitment from them. I don't know how that works. Like, do you have to apply? How does that work? Or do you just say, I want to pay and I want to go?
You do apply. There is a process. I'm not sure 100% how they take everyone. I'm not familiar with that process. How my process went is because I'm so invested into the game. It was kind of easy. Got on the phone with a couple people, sales reps, and my coach, of course. Working out a plan and figuring things out, and then yes, of course, payments come in. But they
It's
work out a
worth it.
plan, make sure. Yeah, oh, it's worth it. Absolutely, it's worth it. But they work out a plan, make sure it's right for you. If it's not right for you, they're not gonna, push you. But I think if you're into baseball at all and you want to get better, then it's the right spot for you.
Okay, so when you want your buddy, and what's his name again? I want to give him credit.
Cody Witten.
Cody Witten. Okay, so Cody says you got to get the Tread. All right, like, I love baseball. I need to jumpstart things. I've seen the results that Tread has had. Um, and so now you have to sort of, I guess, sell yourself to them, or there's apply. What is the thing besides you love baseball, you want to continue, you want to show your passion, but what are the things that you say to them? Hey, I'm here. I want to get here. This is what I do, and this is why I think this place can help. What are you telling them?
So I just went in and said this is what I do. These are my positives. These are what makes me me. I throw a knuckleball, curveball, cutter, sinker, fastball, and they kind of just look at the numbers and we just make little tweaks, adjustments to make them better, make them have better movement profiles, have better overlays and whatnot. The one thing I didn't do is I've always thrown the knuckleball, 82, 85 miles an hour, and then flipped in the slower ones throughout the game, throw them off balance. But I never tried to throw it as hard as I possibly could, So it was just never anything I did. That's another hats off to Cody. He kind of was like, let's see how hard we can get it up there and see how it moves then. And it was great results. And TrackMan said good things, and we kind of went from there. It
Well,
was just
even knuckleballs in the '80s are perceived as pretty aggressive. Like, having covered Tim Wakefield all those years, I know that if he got it up until '84, that was fast for him. And you vary it. So, another cliche question, but so be it. The knuckleball. There's always usually a good story with a knuckleball of, like, the origination of it. As I said, I'm going to come back to the interview we did last week with Robert Stock, where Tampa Bay actually said to him, "Hey, we're starting sort of this knuckleball camp. Why don't you be part of it?" This is, by the way, a guy who throws 100. So, but it wasn't taking, right? So, like, oh well, maybe you can do this, maybe you can do that. There's always sort of an impetus for going down this road to a knuckleball which not a lot of people go down. So what was yours?
Well, when I was 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old, playing catch out in front of the house with dad, and at the time, I believe one of my older buddies was throwing breaking balls, and look at this curveball, look at this slider, and I was like, Dad, can I throw one? And he's like, No, we can't throw breaking balls until you're older or in college or have facial hair. I believe I was told by a doctor, and
Oh, really?
um, yeah, and so
Weird.
I actually didn't throw a breaking ball until I got to college. When I got to college, my college coach was like, "Well, you're throwing a breaking ball
Wait,
now."
you did not throw a breaking ball till you got to college?
No, I just used
Just
the
because you
knuckle
couldn't grow facial hair?
because I could grow facial. I was told that I wasn't matured enough. My body wasn't ready. I was still growing.
All right.
But yeah, I used the knuckleball, and yes, whatever you did there, like that was it. And I kind of just ran away with it. Took it, developed it on my own, and adjusted it to what it is now.
All right. I apologize. You froze up for 2 seconds. So I'm just gonna
Oh,
ask
did I?
you, that was on me. So
Oh, okay.
so I'm gonna ask you just to repeat, like when you get to college, what happened?
Oh yeah. So when I got to college, my college coach told me, he's like, "Hey, you have to throw a breaking ball now." I was like, "Okay, absolutely." But before that, I had used the knuckleball, changeup, and fastball throughout all of high school, and times before that, the knuckleball was my out pitch. Um, and as far as the grip, when I was 9 years old, out in front of the house, I was trying to experiment with breaking balls and just other stuff that moved, as any young pitcher does. And my dad was like, "Here, try this knuckleball grip." And at the time, I was so young, he had me grab it. I have a ball right here. He had me grab it, kind of like on the top here with my like real knuckles, and I had such a small hand at the time. I was like, "Oh, I'll just grab it with my nails." So I grabbed it with my nails, and within the first 5 throws I threw one, and it actually hit him in the chest. And he was like, "Yeah, that's it. That's awesome. Whatever you did right there, that's the grip." And I kind of just ran away with it. We had to actually stop playing catch in front of the house because he was getting hit so much. So it
Really?
was yeah, yeah, absolutely. Even throwing partners, catch partners throughout the years, I haven't been able to throw as many as I would have liked. Just because guys don't want to catch them and they get hit by them because they're moving like crazy and everything like that. Plus, I don't want to hurt anyone. So.
Well, that's another thing. And it's we talk about why there aren't more knuckleballs. We had a guy on last offseason, Mickey Janis, who was throwing a knuckleball.
Hmm.
Obviously Matt Waldron is another guy in the major leagues throws a knuckleball, and then Tim Wakefield. So, but there's a big part of it is you got to find someone to catch it. I mean, this is
Yeah.
teams. There's a lot of reasons why teams aren't encouraging it, even though it's this pitch where what at its best is like unhittable,
Hmm.
and yet still there's the ability to get someone to catch it. There's also the ability to have some sort of certainty, because lack of certainty freaks teams out sometimes.
Hmm.
Anyway, so you're going through college and you're throwing this, and you have your fastball's in the mid 90s, right? That's another part of this equation, which we should highlight. But it would seem when you're in college, all your colleges that you went to, and then independently, or even coming out of college, that's a pretty good combination. Like, what was missing for you?
Um, to be honest, I don't know. I think my dad always told me I was the best kept secret in baseball. Just had to get out there and be seen. Um, I definitely, my numbers fluctuated throughout the years. Didn't have anything that was just like, wow, this guy is awesome all the time. But yeah, just I lost my train of thought there. But
No, but you're basically just the fact is, you if first of all, it's great to have a dad to tell you that, or anybody to tell you that you're the best kept secret, that you're going to keep going. But but there is you need it. It's a results business, right? Like,
absolutely.
so it's
That's where I was going with that. Yeah,
yeah.
just the best kept secret in baseball. Just get myself out there. That's kind of what my roommate Cody was like. Come to Tread, be seen. Like if you want to, get your name out there, be seen by anyone. Like this is the headquarters of baseball, best place to be at in the U.S. So this is where you should come and be seen. And that's what happened. Got some video, got myself out there, and there you go.
When do you go? When do you arrive at Tread in the off season?
In the off season, this off season, let me think. I got done. I believe I got there at the end of October.
Okay.
Took about a month or so off, just doing some mobility, resting up the body and everything like that, taking care, making sure I'm healthy. But yeah, I'd say at the end of October and ish around there.
Okay. And then when was the viral moment, the pro day? The pro day, right? That's when that video was taken.
Yes, sir. The pro day was January 11th.
January 11th. So everything sort of amps up to that.
Yep.
And again, this is sort of another fork in the road moment. You've had a few fork in the road moments. I mean, let's be honest, right?
Oh yeah, plenty of them. Plenty of them.
Yeah. But this is the most definitive one where you're coming up to that and you're probably feeling pretty good about your work at Tread leading up to that, but still, like you see anyone who sees a video of Tread's pro day, there's a ton, like everyone's around, man. Like,
Oh, it's the environment is something special, something I have never been a part of. Everybody's there, all eyes are on you. There's one mound, cameras everywhere, and you're the only one in there. There's a couple other people warming up in the background, but it's not like how it normally is. Normal days, there's a lot of people there. It's everybody's getting their work in. You got to find a spot to get your stuff going, but it's silence. It's silence. All
is
you
it
hear is
really?
the ball to the glove. There's some chit chat on the sides and whatnot, but there's scouts all around on each side, all the tread coaches and everyone's there watching, and you get pretty amped up. The adrenaline's going, and to be honest, I'm feeling pretty good just thinking about it.
Yeah, let's go.
It was an awesome environment.
So how many I love this scene. Like this is because I don't think people understand this. They see the video and they see like, oh well, there you go. He was throwing a bullpen and there it is. It's
Mhm.
not that way. It's the pressure that you said, it's amping up to that moment. You know that day's coming. So what do they tell? How many, first of all, this seems like a simple question, but how many pitches do they say you're throwing? Do they say?
I don't think it's necessarily number of pitches, but we had our time slots were designated at like 7 minutes.
Okay. All
So you
right.
have seven minutes for your time slot to get as many like throws in as you want, as many
Okay.
pitches in as you want. But of course, you want to make sure that they're good. You don't want to just be out there, throwing bullets. We all have a stamina. Every inning isn't 50 pitches, so you just want to get what you got to get in there. You have a nice little bullpen and show what you got.
Well, that's another thing, and you also want to you hope that you have your good stuff that day, and that's another part of it. I mean, it's like any
Absolutely.
tryout. I get that. Did you? Let me ask you: had you have because people go through tryouts like this sometimes even in high school? Had you ever had anything like this at all, where you've had that dynamic?
I definitely had some pro days and some showcases throughout the years. Tryouts. My parents actually, funny story. When I was younger, they used to like trick me or convince me that I had to go to tryouts to all these teams in my neighborhood. Just Glenview Blaze, Niles Renegades, just different teams in my area. And I was just a little kid, like, oh, I have to go make it. I got to make these teams. So I was nervous at every one of them. But little did I know, I found out a couple years ago that they were like, oh, they already wanted you. We were just getting you ready for the college showcases and whatnot, which I did. I had to go to a bunch of college camps, and as everyone does in high school, to go and get yourself out there and whatnot. But there's nothing like that Tread Pro Day. I went to a pro day last year with a good amount of scouts and people there and everything. But Tread's environment is just it's something special.
So, what was the pro day you went to last year?
It was at K's Academy, K's
Okay.
Training Academy.
Okay. But this is Tread. Everyone knows Tread. Everyone knows, and most importantly, the teams know Tread, right?
Yeah,
So
of course.
you have all the guys who you're training with, all the Tread participants there. You have all the coaches, and then you have the scouts. Um,
Hmm.
the dynamic that it really like fascinates me, Kenny, is how silent it is. I love that. Like you only
Yeah.
hear like the mitts. It's
Yep. Oh, you had especially when like you're actually throwing your pitches. It's just nothing. All you hear is the ball hitting the glove. It was funny though when I would throw a couple really good knuckleballs, I'd hear like oh, or like ah ha ha, like in the background the catcher missing a couple of them. I hear like a oohs and ahs behind it, so it kind of loosens you up a little bit. And I got to be honest, when I threw that first knuckleball and it had that good movement that I look for, it just eases you up a little bit.
well, and then you hit, the one that you hit 88.5 on, right? So
Mhm.
was that there's a lot to pick through with that one pitch, but when you threw that wasn't one of your first ones, I would imagine. Did you amp up to that one or?
Yeah, it built up a little bit. So I'd say that was probably, I don't know, fourth one, fifth one, maybe.
Okay. And do you think that you had ever thrown one that hard, or was it just of the circumstance of the day?
Actually, before even getting to tread, I in a bullpen, my buddy before, I just one time he was like, "You want to try to throw it harder? Try to throw it harder." And I actually got one on a radar gun up to like 87. So I knew I can get it up there, pretty good, but I never tried to throw it. They were like, "Can you see if you can get it to 90? See if you can get it to 90." And I think I can, within the right setting and everything like that. But 88.5 was awesome, awesome. That's just great.
Legitimately like 88.5 miles per hour on a knuckleball is the equivalent of 104-mile-an-hour fastball. I don't have science behind that, but I'm just gonna say it. So
Sounds good to me.
right?
Sounds
I
good
mean,
to me.
it's the same reaction, right? It's the same
Hmm.
reaction. If someone went to tread and threw 104 might be aggressive, but let's say 102, 103, and you
Hmm.
throw 103, you would get the same oohs and ahs that you would like you did there because it's something that you just don't see. I mean, those guys never, as you said, the highest documented knuckleball,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. I actually had, I believe it was a scout behind me was like, Kenny, how do you throw that? And, I wanted to respond and say, I just do it. This is just, the natural grip or whatever. But had to stay focused. Had to stay focused, locked in.
Well, so when you finish, do you feel obviously, man, you're like you threw the cougar in the car. That's my Talladega Nights reference. Like it's but the adrenaline and the heart rate was probably pumping after you finish, right? Right?
Through the roof. Had to be through the roof. Through the roof. Oh my gosh, yeah. Amped up and just, the adrenaline was is honestly one of the most pumped I've felt adrenaline wise ever.
And which is great because like you as we talk about, it amps up to that moment, that day, and then you nail it. Like that I would imagine you felt like you nailed it, right?
I did. I threw some really good stuff. Obviously we can all have better days and stuff like that, but those knuckleballs were dancing, and that's all I can ask for.
Okay, so now we get to after, right?
Hmm.
You everyone's giving you the fist pumps and the high fives, and that was awesome. And do you realize? I would imagine someone came up and said, "Do you realize what you did? Did someone do that?" Yeah.
Yeah, I walked over right off the mount. I walked over to my coach Cody, and he was like, "Yeah, he's like, you got one up to 88.5." I was like, "No way." He's like, "Yep, a new record." I was like, "Let's go." So yeah, it was just very exciting. I just the idea of the hardest one ever is it's awesome. It's awesome.
What did you research? I'm sorry, I'm kind of all over the place, but it's so fascinating to me.
No, it's okay. It's
It's
okay.
did you research like did you go back and research the hardest ones ever thrown?
I did not. I did not. I believe someone at Tread did. I'm
Okay. All right, because I would imagine that as in part of this elite company, this small community of knuckleball pitchers,
Mhm.
you go, and I don't know who you've talked to, because I remember like, this is going back. This is back in when you were just like 0 years old, but Tim Wakefield, when he started throwing it, he would the Necro brothers, like he would have people, they would actually bring in Necro or Charlie Huff or talk to these guys because again, small community and not a lot of pitching coaches can even relate to it, right? So I don't
Mhm.
know if you had people like that come in or if you just wore out YouTube or what you did.
Honestly, neither. I didn't really have any. I mean, I did, of course, did my research and had watched videos on Tim Wakefield and R.A. Dickey. But as far as like changing grip or like looking for help on that, like not so much there. Um, I did have Mickey Janis reach out to me a couple days ago when everything
Oh,
kind of
nice.
went viral. So I'm definitely gonna hop on the phone with him here in the near future. And then R.A. Dickey actually gave me a ring. That was surreal in itself to talk to him about knuckleballs for a while and just get his view on everything and just to chit chat about knuckleballs with someone who else that throws them. So with it being such a small world, it was really cool.
The other part about it, like I said, you also throw in the mid 90s. I mean, this is talk about things that you never thought would happen back in the day. Nobody ever would think that anyone would throw a knuckleball 88.5 miles an hour, but nobody even think that a knuckleball pitcher could throw in the mid 90s consistently either, which is going to lead me to after your workout. Okay, so after your workout, high five, fist bumps, yay. And now you immediately turn to, well, there's a reason I'm doing this, is to get the sign by your team.
Mhm.
So what was a timeline between the end of that and then when you started hearing from, I don't know, a team? And I totally blew this part about. Congratulations, you signed with the Detroit Tigers.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
I'm
much.
totally burying the lead, but we'll get to that in a second. But was there teams, or was it just the Tigers that come in? What was that dynamic after your workout?
So yeah, get off the mound, uh, go finish up my arm care and stuff. Just my routine that I do after mound days, and then I walked over, just talked to my coach, talked things through, and I think at that point I had one of the other tread coaches come up and say that there was a team that was interested, and just wanted to chit chat a little bit. That was like the first sign of interest, and then the next day was when I walked into. It was the last day of the pro day. I came there just to get my work in and whatnot, and that's when Cody, my coach, came up to me and was like, "There's other teams that are interested," and gave me a list of a few of them, and got in touch with my agent, gave him some names and some numbers, gave him some footage that they were asking for, and honestly, it became very surreal very fast. There was more teams interested, and than I had thought going into it, and it was awesome. Honestly, the last week has been just busy, awesome, fun, exciting. Just seeing myself on internet. My friends and family are sending me all these things, all these different links to articles and stuff. So I'm just happy to get out there and let people see the knuckleball. I've always known that I've had this knuckleball that I've always thought it was nasty. I've thrown it my whole life. So I'm glad that other people get to experience it. It seems to bring a lot of joy to everyone.
So obviously you signed with the Tigers, but
Mhm.
is it the Tigers that they just the most aggressive? I mean, how's that work?
They definitely were the most aggressive, but I had multiple conversations with people throughout the organization. I loved every conversation I had. They seemed to have a good plan for me, and they were excited to get me. They said they love the knuckleball, they like strikes, and I have a very low walk rate for as a knuckleballer, and yeah, just everything was positive. They seemed to have a good plan for me. It seemed to be a good fit, and I hope to help the Tigers, win more games and be a part of it. I'm just excited, almost at a loss of words sometimes to.
Well, I was
to
going
show.
to say, so again, this is taking the deep dive into the actual moment, but I like the actual moment. You say, okay, all right, Tigers make the offer. You say, okay, I don't know if that goes through the agent, if you sit to the Tigers people, I don't know, which
Through my agent, I believe.
through
Yes.
your agent, you say,
Mm-hmm.
okay. And where were you at that moment? And you talk about your parents a couple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
I want you to
They've
get
been
your
a big part
emotions
of
in
it.
check, right? Because it's okay. So, but this is the parents to have. This is a great story, but also to have for the parents, it's a great story for the parents. It's also, this is one of the things I like about it is that we try to paint the entire picture, and the entire picture about parenting's tough, man. Expectations are tough. Wanting the best for your kids are tough, and then not saying you're having to go through the ups and downs are tough. But to have payoffs like that, I would imagine that phone call, right?
Oh,
Correct. What was
yeah,
that like?
absolutely. Oh, so yeah, I honestly, I'm kind of getting like I am right now. I pick up the phone and it's just my agent's calling me. I think it's update about something or whatnot, what's going on, and tells me I'm getting a offer from the Detroit Tigers, and I kind of got speechless and got emotional, and started crying, and uh, again I was just at a loss for words, and I was actually at a very nice friend of mine that was letting me stay at his place over in Charlotte. He overheard the conversation, and when I got off the phone, he gave me a big hug, and I actually just was like bawling my eyes out, and just so grateful for the opportunity to that I've been working so hard for to get
Then you
this
call
done.
the parents, right?
Right after that hug, I gave the parents a call and said I'm going to be a Detroit Tiger, and I think my mom screamed so loud I had to pull the phone away from my ear, and my dad, of course, was in the background yelling, and just absolutely ecstatic for me to be one step closer to achieving my dreams. So
So
just
what's that felt like? You said a little bit like so that was about. I mean, it was only a few days ago, right? I mean, really.
mhm.
But what's it been like since? Like you obviously you achieved that moment, and now you get your head around wearing a uniform of an organization, a major league organization, in a spring training. I would imagine that even though it's a minor league deal, I would imagine you're going to get some opportunities to pitch in Grapefruit League games, which will be awesome. Which is all it's all of it is awesome. So
All
now
of
it's
it.
right. So in these few days, have you been able to turn the page from I can't believe this is happening to all right, let's go. Let's
It
go.
ac- it actually happened quicker than I thought it would happen. I was like really excited, emotional for that like night or whatever. But when I woke up and went to the facility the next day, it was kind of like, I had to think about that Kobe scene. What's there to be happy about? You know, Job's not finished kind of thing. It just kind of like popped in my head. And um, yeah, I was very excited and emotional and speechless for a while. But yeah, just back to work, put the nose down and get back in the weight room, get back on the mound and everything like that. Everything that all the work I was putting in to get me here, it was awesome. Great to look at and got to appreciate it. But that's kind of like what's done is done. Let's put our nose down and look at what's in front of us.
So what is in front of you? What's the schedule here to go to beautiful Lakeland? There's no finer place on the planet, Lakeland.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, absolutely beautiful
it doesn't for you, it
Florida.
is. Yeah. It's
Get me
well,
get me out of this 1 degree
yeah. Oh,
freezing Chicago.
believe me, Kenny. Like I am T minus 3 weeks till I go to Fort Myers for a month and a half. So
Yeah,
I would definitely I will say this. Lakeland was tough for me last year. And I know that all the listeners really, really care about this, but I'm going to make it about myself. I went up to do the radio broadcast, Red Sox and Tigers, and it went fine. Actually, Tarek Skubal pitched. It was anytime you get to see him pitch, it's awesome.
absolutely.
It was a great game, but the media dining was hot dogs and hamburgers, and I should have known when I walked by after eating my two hot dogs, when seeing the empty pan full of hot dog water, that it was not going to go well. Just to say, I had to get a hotel just outside. I was not making the entire trip down back from Fort Myers. So again, bringing it back to myself, that's all that I care about with Lakeland until now. Now all I care about is going back up to Lakeland and seeing you pitch there. And yeah, I'm actually going to look at the schedule because I would imagine you are going to pitch in some Grapefruit League games, um, and that'll be awesome. That'll be oh my goodness, so good.
All of it is awesome for me. I've been watching spring training games on TV for years now, and to be a part of it is all I ever wanted. So I believe I'm flying down tomorrow. I'll be down there for at least a week, just to get meet everyone, get everything sorted, and get a plan going. And then I haven't been told exactly when I'll be reporting for spring training, but I should find out this coming week, and we'll go from there. I'm just absolutely ecstatic to get going. I want to get out of this weather, get down to Florida, but beautiful baseball weather, everything like that. I miss Orlando. I was there for UCF. That was a privilege every day
Yeah.
to walk outside into that nice humidity and everything like that. So, yeah, just excited to get down there and to get going.
What was your team growing up? Was it the White Sox, Cubs, or?
People don't agree with me, but I was a Chicago fan. I was both Cubs and White Sox.
Ooh.
I only wanted the White Sox to lose when they played the Cubs.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair.
I
That's
always want
fair.
to see a Cubs White Sox World Series, and I still do. So,
Oh, good luck with that.
yeah. It's gonna be tough. Detroit's gonna be kicking the
Yeah,
White
that's
Sox
right. That's
butt
right.
for a while.
Listen,
For a while now.
all roads go through Detroit. All roads
Yep.
go through Detroit.
Hmm.
Um, Hey, man, this has been such a privilege to talk to you, and another person for the baseball isn't boring crew to root for, and another person to send a massive amount of T-shirts to baseball isn't boring T-shirts. So,
Absolutely. Please,
oh
please.
yeah, listen, we got the we actually have the black and white ones, which I think will work for the Tigers. We initially got them because Joe Kelly played for the White Sox.
Hmm.
But I think it works. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. I love him. I love him.
Yeah. So I appreciate it, man. All right. We'll be following you. Thanks so much, Kenny.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of it, and just looking forward to everything moving forward.